Hi guys, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 in the house once again, bringing to you a second review episode from this week's episode of Arrow, which is the final and 8th season for the show. And I've just finished watching episode 2, which is called Welcome to Hong Kong. And I have to say, although probably not as strong as last week's episode, it was still really good and I really enjoyed it. And this episode pretty much picks up from where we left off from last week's episode, where we saw Earth 2 basically just disappear out of existence. We saw lots of people fade away from Earth 2, and it was quite stiff stuff. So this week's episode is pretty much dealing with the aftermath of Earth 2 fading away out of existence, and it was really good. And we got to see Laurel dealing with the thought that she had to watch an entire Earth, her entire home, just disappear before her very eyes, and it has to be very traumatizing. You know, it's bad enough you watch someone you care about die in brutal fashion, but to see everyone you know and love just disappear out of existence has to be quite tough. So it was really good to see Laurel dealing with that, and she was making attempts to try and go back to Earth 2. Maybe she could try and save everyone, and it really hurts when every time she tried to breach to go back to Earth 2, nothing happened. So that was quite emotional stuff, and mega props to Katie Cassidy for delivering a very emotional performance, and it was really good to have her back. Also in this week's episode, as we know, Oliver is in Hong Kong, and the Monitor basically gives him a lecturing about interfering in Earth 2's events, which led to Earth 2 disappearing. So the mission that Oliver is embarked on is he has to pick up a scientist named Dr. Robert Wong, who has been forced to recreate the Alpha Omega virus. So Oliver and John Diggle are in Hong Kong trying to find this Dr. Wong, who the Monitor has requested they find. We also got to see Tatsu return, aka Katana, so it was really cool to see her back. And also China White made her return. I have to honestly say, Kelly Hu, you would not even believe she was 50. I think she's 50 or 51, but anyway, we'll say 50 for argument's sake. She looked absolutely smoking hot, and she's kicking ass, I have to say. I still forget that Kelly Hu's much older than her actual age, or than how she actually looks. And it was really good to have her back, and it was really good to see her and Tatsu have a few exchanges and a few good fight scenes. So, whoo! I really enjoyed that. So, that was a lot of fun. Also, we got to see Lila Michaels back, the director of Argos. So, we got to see her and Laurel trying to find Dr. Wong as well. So there was a lot going on in this episode, trying to track down this scientist. We also got a few more flash forward scenes in 2040, where William was working on a device that the Deathstroke gang had stolen from as they were going to the black market, and we got to see Connor Hawke and JJ meet each other and have a little exchange. I have to be honest about these flash forward scenes. They're okay, but I kind of feel they interfere a bit with what's going on with the whole situation with Oliver. I mean, they're okay to have, but I don't really feel they add much weight to the story. But who knows, maybe there might be some sort of payoff to what's going on. So we're just going to have to wait and see with that story. But the flash forward scenes don't really do much for me. I'm not taking anything away from them, but I'm not too bothered about them. But aside from that, top episode, I have to say. Also, in this episode, we got to learn who Lila Michaels really is. She's the Harbinger. Now, for many of you who don't know who the Harbinger is, she was kind of like an assistant to the Monitor in the Crisis graphic novel. So we got to learn her true identity at the end of this episode. So we're seeing her and the Monitor working together to try and prepare Oliver for the upcoming crisis that is coming. So that was a cool little twist. And one other thing I want to say as well, we finally got to see Laurel in the full Black Canary costume, and I have to say, her costume reminded me a lot of Smallville's costume. Maybe that was a shout out to Elena Huffman's costume going back to season 7, because there was a lot of similarities, like the short blonde bop hair and the black and yellow leather. It was nice. It was like kind of like the old Smallville suit, but just upgraded. So that was a lot of fun, and we finally got to see Laurel embrace that, and she finally came through for Diggle and Oliver. I have to also say in this episode, it was a lot of fun seeing Oliver and Diggle fighting side by side, and it never gets old. It's awesome. I love seeing these two fight side by side, and the shot where we see Oliver in his Green Arrow costume and Diggle in his Spartan outfit and Tatsu in her Kitana outfit, that was an amazing shot, I have to say. So in the end they got Dr. Wong, so we're just going to have to wait and see what kind of role he's going to play. Overall, good episode. Maybe not as strong as last week's, as I said already, but I absolutely loved it. We are now 2 episodes down, 8 episodes to go. My god. I can honestly tell you right now, I am really not ready for this show to end, but we know it's going to end, and boy, what a way this show is going to go out. If we're going to keep getting quality episodes like this, then this could very well be the best season since maybe season 5. See, I think when you have just 10 episodes, I don't care. I know people say, oh, why is it just a short season? Why couldn't it be more? If you're going to have just a small number of episodes, but they're all kick-ass stories, that's fine. I'm totally down with that. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Next week's episode is going to be called Leap of Faith, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that episode plays out. So I'm going to leave this here for you guys. What did you think of this week's episode? Did you think it was good? Do you think it was not as good? Was there anything you liked, like maybe some of your favourite moments in this episode? Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see you all next week for when I review episode 3 of Arrow. So till then, take care everybody.